The Morning Show with Mr. G and Paul Stone. The talk of the Treasure Coast. 1590 WPSL.
And we've got a special guest this morning, Paul.
Yeah, good morning. And this is the special call-in show. Each Monday morning we have a conversation with a special guest. This morning's guest is Katha Kittman. She's the president and CEO of the Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute Foundation. Good morning, Katha. How are you this morning?
Good morning. It's so nice to be with you. Thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. Tell us a little bit about the Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute Foundation. Nice long title there.
Yes, it is a nice long title, and our long title actually supports Florida Atlantic University's Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute, which is a wonderful institute in the Fort Pierce area that studies many things about oceanography and marine science, but most particularly the Indian River Lagoon.
Are you stationed right here in Fort Pierce?
We are, right between Vero Beach and Fort Pierce off of US 1.
Tell us a bit about the big gala coming up fairly soon called the Lagoon Gala Dinner.
Yes, it's actually called the Love Your Lagoon Gala Dinner. It's our 6th annual event. It was first started by our Board of Trustees because we saw that there was critical issues facing the Indian River Lagoon back in 2010, 2011 with the first major algal blooms. And so we started this event so that we could raise funds and awareness for those critical issues. And ever since, we have had this annual event, and to date, since 2012, we have raised over $412,000 in order to create greater awareness and do scientific research, education, and outreach on the impacts that are happening to the Indian River Lagoon.
How are these funds put to use?
Each year we choose something different in order to apply those funds toward. The very first year was to support the Indian River Lagoon Symposium, which is an annual event, multi-agency, open to the public. It's over the course of 2 days, and it brings together over 600 people in a 2-day period who can discuss everything that's happening with the Indian River Lagoon, everything from degradation of water quality, contaminant loading, loss of habitat such as seagrasses and mangroves, the decline of fisheries, emerging disease in marine mammals, and urbanization and excessive freshwater releases. So all of these are very important issues. This year, our funds are going to support the 2017 Indian River Lagoon Graduate Research Fellows. This is a group of competitively selected postdocs who are working on research directly applicable to the Indian River Lagoon. They are paired with a Harbor Branch scientist in order to do that research.
It sounds like a very valuable program. Do you have many students from the local area taking part?
We do. Most of our students are actually graduate students or postdocs, but we also have an internship program in the summer and a semester by the sea program. So we have many students. And then we also, at Harbor Branch, have a partnership with the Marine Oceanographic, MOA, Marine Oceanographic Academy, which is a partnership with St. Lucie County Schools. And that's for students who would like to go into marine science as a career.
It's a Harbor Branch organization. Is that unique to Florida, or are there other locations such as this in other communities?
Well, there are many other oceanographic institutes worldwide. Looking at what's happening with the oceans today is extremely critical. It's in many ways the last frontier, similar to the space program, I think. And but the Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute is very special. It's been there since 1971. It was founded by J. Seward Johnson Sr. From Johnson & Johnson, and he worked alongside his dear friend Edwin Link, who was a famed inventor. He invented the flight simulator, and together they founded Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute. And today we are so pleased that Harbor Branch is part of Florida Atlantic University.
Well, it's good to know. I often drive by the Harbor Branch location there on Highway 1. Not a lot of folks, it's a place that I think people drive by without going in. I've been there one time for a tour. My daughter-in-law was there occasionally working there. And tell us, if people want to have a tour of the Harbor Branch, is that something that can be handled fairly easily?
Absolutely. Our immersion tours are beginning again in January, and these are very intensive tours on a specific aspect of Harbor Branch research. So it could be on marine mammal research. It could be on marine biomedical, biotech. It could be on aquaculture. It could be on coral reef restoration. We have many different research areas, and then definitely all of the research that's going on about the Indian River Lagoon.
Well, certainly it's a worthy cause. Please tell us, are there sponsorships available for the upcoming event?
Thank you. Yes, there are sponsorships available, and there's a graduated levels. So if anyone would like to have information about that, they can contact me at Harbor Branch. My phone number is 772-466-9876. We also have single tickets available for the event. So there's a lot of different ways for people to become involved.
Well, very, very good. Thank you for joining us this morning, Katha. We certainly appreciate anything to leave us with before you leave.
That's it. Please come. Levee Lagoon 2017, February 3rd.
Okay. Thank you, Katha, very much.
Thank you. Take care.
We were talking to Katha Kittman. She was is the president of the Harbor Branch Institute Foundation, and we enjoyed that, G. Good morning. It's 8:18, 75 degrees now. It's time for news from 1590 WPSL. Well, millions of Floridians will already have voted by the time the polls open tomorrow morning, thanks to a record turnout in early voting. Martin County, over 62,000 people have already turned in their ballots, while over 95,000 votes have been cast in St. Lucie County. With 52% of registered voters taking advantage of early voting, it's likely the local races will be determined early. And we'll probably have to wait a little while longer, as the Florida presidential race will take a little longer into the evening. And voters across Florida, the biggest battleground state that could tip this year's election, streamed to the polls, as we said earlier, spurred by the frenzied campaign put out by both major candidates. Nearly half of Florida's 12.9 million registered voters have already cast their ballots. And with polls tightening throughout the country, the question is being asked, could the presidential race end in a tie? Well, U.S. political science professor Susan McManus says there's still a possibility that the Electoral College could end up with an equal vote, but don't count on it.
That's a very unlikely scenario, but it's a great parlor game at the moment. I don't see it really likely happening. But then again, in this election, you just don't say never to anything. As
of this morning, the website 538.com puts the chances of a tie in the electoral count at 0.6%, so not very likely. And the average statewide price of gasoline is $2.20 now, down 3 cents from a gallon a week ago, according to AAA. But we could be heading much lower because oil-producing countries are showing no signs of cutting production despite a global oversupply of oil. It could push the price Floridians pay at the pump below $2 a gallon towards the end of the year. And one of the many benefits with generic drugs is that they're supposed to save money. But now we've learned the government is investigating generic drug makers over allegations they work together to keep prices high. CBS 12's Andrea Marvin, she has more.
People need them anyway, and let's fix them at a higher rate, and let's all do it so that we're all making money.
This is what generic drug companies are being investigated for. The Justice Department has sent subpoenas to several generic drug makers, including Teva and Mylan, both with offices in Florida, as part of the government's probe to see if they conspired to keep prices high. Criminal defense attorney Stephen Bell says proving criminal conspiracy amongst drug companies is difficult to do.
You've got to have contracts. You've probably got to have some kind of, maybe emails, maybe, discussions amongst some of the, CEOs of these companies somehow in writing that this conspiracy exists. Just the fact that the prices are at the prices they're at is not going to be enough.
CBS Investigates asked the two drug makers why they are being investigated. Teva USA received a subpoena from the Antitrust Division of the United States Department of Justice seeking documents and other information relating to the marketing and pricing of certain Teva USA generic products. Teva is cooperating fully with these requests. Mylan is and has always been committed to cooperating with the Antitrust Division's investigation. To date, we know of no evidence that Mylan participated in price fixing. While both companies admit to being part of the investigation, it is unclear if they will actually face charges.
They're generally kept pretty secret regarding what exactly is being found, and sometimes at the end of the day, a lot of people get taken down at the end, and or nothing comes of it.
And that was CBS 12's Andrea Marvin reporting. According to Bloomberg, prosecutors could bring charges by the end of the year. And those are the stories making news this hour. Your traffic is coming up next. Let's check those highways now. Well, so far this morning, our broadcast area has been totally accident-free. That's a good deal. Good driving out there, folks. If you see something, give us a call here. We'll report it for you, 340-1590.
We've got 2 days of us hanging out at the booth at the air show. 2 days worth of people stopping by and filling out this form to win. What are they winning, Paul? What do they win, Johnny?
They're going to win $50 gift certificate to the St. Lucie Draft House. It's a wonderful place to spend $50. I'll tell you right now.
Oh, yeah, you can come there today. We're going to be there
right.
for our party that we're going to have for our
Let's see here, G. Let me pick one out of hundreds of people who signed up.
Lord.
Let's see here. And our winner is Laura A. Heilman, or Heilman, H-E-I-L-M-A-N. It's Laura A. Heilman. Laura, give us a call here. She's from Fort Pierce.
Actually, we're going to call her.
We're going to call her.
Oh, she's in Fort Pierce?
Yeah,
oh,
in case she's listening in, she can call us. Yeah. Otherwise, we'll be contacting her.
One of our lovely assistants, probably Cliff.
Absolutely. Yeah,
he's the loveliest one of our assistants.
Yeah.
Because we definitely ain't lovely.
We got it.
So, yeah, there you go. Congratulations to Laura Heilman. Beautiful Fort Pierce, and we'll give you a call and let you know that you can come on by and pick up your stuff. Hey, I was going to do the Simpsons theme, but my computer, the battery died in the middle of it, and now it's not up anymore. So we'll talk about the Simpsons being the 30th. We'll get a 30th season, which will break the Gunsmoke record when we continue. Stay with us. And now from Studio 3BA, let's talk sports with Paul Stone.
Okay, G. Will, the only two important games for you and me were the Vikings and the Dolphins. The Dolphins, arguably the most entertaining game of the year. It could have been the most disappointing loss, but Kenyon Drake's kickoff return late in the fourth quarter proved to be the big difference as the Dolphins beat the New York Jets 27-23.
J-E-T-S-J-E-T-S.
That's right. The win improves the Dolphins' record to 4-4. They're .500 for the season and keeps their playoffs hope very much alive. Ryan Tannehill finished the game 17 for 28 for 149 yards, 1 touchdown, and no picks. Yeah, the Vikings lost. They had to go into a tie because they're dumb, and I can't say it on the air. Field goal kicker missed the extra point, forcing them into a overtime, which they promptly lost.
Pitiful.
And now they're 5-3, and who knows what's coming up next. And LeBron James became the NBA's 10th leading scorer on midway through the first quarter of Cleveland's victory to Philadelphia, 102-101 Saturday night. James finished a layup on the fast break. He totaled 26,947 points, one more than Hakeem Olajuwon. James is now the only player in NFL history to rank in the top 10 of career points and top career assists. Well, South Fork hosted Jupiter in their final high school game of the season. It was also senior night at the school where all the senior football players and their parents are honored before each game. And for one Bulldog senior, it will be a night he'll never forget. It's his father, who's a disabled veteran, surprised him at the game. CBS 12's Luli Ortiz has the story.
The Vietnam War veteran suffers from multiple health issues, and the pain leaves him too uncomfortable to sit for a very long time. It took a team of people to help make his wish of watching his son play in person become a reality.
Hi, Bill! Oh, good to see you, son. The fun of God here, Bill.
Tears of joy flow as William Cessna hugs his father, Bill, moments before his last game.
Gonna be all right, son?
The Vietnam War veteran has bone cancer and multiple health problems which have been linked to the exposure of Agent Orange. Visiting Nurse Association of Florida and Solaris Healthcare Parkway teamed up to provide Bill with a geriatric chair and transportation to the game.
I knew he wanted to go, and they were going to try to find a way to get him here, but I didn't know this was going to happen. He would actually come and be able to watch me, and it means so much.
The senior was shocked to see his mom and dad for tonight's annual tradition, where parents joined players on the field at the start of the game. And of course, it's this very moment that means the world to them.
I'm thinking, go, Billy, go. Brings back memories when I was in high school. And I'm just so excited that I'm watching him play.
It's one surprise that will last a lifetime.
You don't know what it means, unless you're in my position. My son will remember this too, long after I'm gone. Some fond memories of him and his dad.
Football clearly runs in the family for William. In fact, his father played both offense and defense in high school before enlisting in the Vietnam War.
And that was Louis Ortiz from the CBS 12. Final other sports news in local news. Senior quarterback Stone Benowitz threw for 230 yards and 3 TDs as South Fork won 42-11. He ends his high school football career with an area record of 6,673 yards passing and 58 touchdowns, which is one shy of the area record set by Jordan Watkins, set in 2014 with John Carroll. In other games, Vero Beach topped Sebastian River 28-6 to finish their regular season 9-0. It's the first loss for Sebastian River this year. Fort Pierce Westwood scored on a last-minute TD to upset Doral Academy 38-33, and a fourth-quarter punt return for TD-led Centennial past Port St. Lucie 21-14. Also in high school sports, the South Fork girls volleyball team beat Barron Collier in straight sets to advance to the state championship game for the first time in school history. And the Bulldogs will play Vanguard Saturday at Westport High School in Ocala. You got the sports, G.
Okay, now this.
Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest.
Turn it up, Paul. Turn it up.
Oh, yeah, you got it. Go, Cubs, go.
We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl.
Because we're the Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins #1. Yes, we're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins.
I'm back on that bandwagon.
Miami Dolphins #1.
And of course, we're your Miami Dolphin station, your official Miami Dolphin station.
Absolutely. Every weekend.
WPSL.
The Morning Show with Mr. G and Paul Stone. The talk of the Treasure Coast. 1590 WPSL.
These emails are a huge scandal. I heard it's even bigger than Whitewater.
I'm not sure that's quite true, Mr. Trump.
Why are you defending her, Aaron? Are you a les with her? Because I heard from a lot of people that you were lesing her.
That doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't matter, Aaron, because I said it. And now half the country believes it. But P.S., no one loves gay people more than me, okay? I am a huge supporter of the LB community.
You mean the LGBT community?
No, just the L and the B.
Let's get to what's obviously the big story of the week.
Please be his taxes, please be his taxes, please be his taxes.
Secretary Clinton's emails. Now, it's highly unusual for the FBI to make an announcement like this so close to the election.
Am I crazy, or does it sort of seem like the FBI is trying to get Donald Trump elected president?
No. That is crazy cuckoo. The FBI is not trying to help me. The FBI doesn't like me.
Hey, I'm gonna go grab some coffee. You want something?
No, I'm good. Thanks, sweetie.
Okay.
He kisses the FBI agent.
Aaron, you saw that, right? That he kissed an FBI guy? Yeah?
It doesn't seem like enough of a story. Let's get back to your emails.
Russian loves Donald, and Donald loves Putin.
No. She's a liar. I don't know Putin. I've never met Putin. What is even a Putin?
I'm running to store. You need anything?
I'm good, thanks, sweetie.
Aaron, he kissed Putin on live TV.
Secretary, that could mean anything. Let's get back to your emails.
He says he's not racist, but this week the KKK endorsed him for president.
No, I don't know the KKK. I mean, what even is a K?
Hey, I'm gonna go for a run. Do you want to come?
No, thanks. I'm good, sweetie.
Aaron, the KKK. Can we talk about how he kissed the KKK?
Yeah, I wish we could, but we're almost out of time. So let's get back to your emails.
Oh, boy. I tell you. Funny stuff. Saturday Night Live last night. That's always. They do a good job. For 35 years, Gunsmoke had the record for being the longest-running scripted primetime TV series. It ran for 20 seasons, I guess. And about 7 years ago, The Simpsons surpassed that number, but Gunsmoke still had a leg up because back in the day, Paul, there were a lot more episodes per season than there are now. So when it broke the record, The Simpsons had aired 442 episodes, but Gunsmoke had aired 635. I guess The Simpsons are still going strong, though. Over the weekend, Fox ordered 2 more seasons, a 29th and a 30th. And since the show just aired its 600th season last month, that means it'll finally surpass Gunsmoke's 635 episodes. Wow. I may have watched 4 episodes of The Simpsons in all these
watched
years.
part of several, but never the whole thing. There's some funny stuff on there. It's adult to me. It's not for kids.
In a statement, Homer Simpson said, quote, "Take that, Gunsmoke. You lost a race you didn't even know you were running."
Dope.
Overall, NBC's Meet the Press is the longest-running show with 69 seasons and over 17,590 episodes. That's a lot of TV watching.
And you watch most of them, haven't you, Jay?
I've seen a lot of them.
Yeah.
Sure have. Well, the box office this weekend, and our guy Dan Hudak in Hollywood, I guess he was pretty much on point with some of these. That Home for the Peculiar Kids is at number 10. The Girl on the Train, number 9. Ouija. Origin of Evil.
The Ouija board?
Yeah, that thing there. That's crazy. Number 8, Jack Reacher and Never Go Back. Number 7, The Accountant. I want to see that one.
The Accountant, yeah, I do too.
That. I really do. In its 4th week, $70.90 million. Inferno at number 5. That didn't, you know what? That didn't do what they expected.
Surprising.
It's only up to $26 million in its 2nd week.
No, the top one you mentioned, the very first one, that was the
Home for the Peculiar Children?
Yeah, that's the kickoff from Harry Potter. That's the 2nd book she's written, I think.
No, that's not that one. This is the one that made me itch when the kid turned around and ate a turkey leg with these big teeth in the back of her head.
Okay, that couldn't be the one.
No, it's real dark. It's not. I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
The witches and sorcery and all that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's going to be good.
That's coming.
I don't know what that's called. Boo. Medea Halloween at number 4. Hacksaw Ridge. Not bad. Came in 3rd.
Yeah.
Trolls at number 2, and the number 1 movie in America, Doctor Strange, 85 million.
Doctor Strange.
Smackaroos. Let's send this over to Paul now for these stories.
Good morning. It's 8:52, 75 degrees. Time for the final broadcast of the morning show. Well, if you're waiting in line to vote until tomorrow, you may not have to wait a long time at your precinct on Election Day. Almost half of Florida's 13 million voters have already cast their ballots, either by early voting, which concluded yesterday, or voting by mail. Polls open tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Donald Trump begins a 5-state blitz later this morning with a rally in Sarasota. Vice President Biden campaigns for Hillary Clinton in Tallahassee and St. Petersburg. Who will win Florida's crucial 29 electoral votes? Well, the polls show the race is too close to call.
Psychologically, voters feel as though there's more to risk in a close election from voting for a third party. So it'll be interesting to see where those percentages will be for people like Gary Johnson and Jill Stein and Evan McMullin on Election Day in states that are very close.
And that was political science Professor Frank Orlando of St. Leo University of Pasco County tends to believe that a third-party vote may actually help Donald Trump more than Hillary Clinton. FBI agents have apparently been interviewing a number of Muslims in Florida, Texas, Kansas, and Oklahoma over an alleged al-Qaeda terror threat. The Council of American Islamic Relations says it has received reports from Muslims in those states saying they have been questioned by the FBI recently. CAIR is advising Muslims to politely decline the interviews unless they have an attorney present, which the group says it will provide free of charge. The Florida prosecutor, who was at the center of several political storms when she served as the nation's first U.S. Attorney General during the Clinton administration, in the 90s has died. Janet Reno succumbed to complications of Parkinson's disease early today in Miami at the age of 78. Reno was the nation's top law enforcement officer at the time of the deadly shootout between federal ATF agents and the member of the Branch Davidian cult near Waco, Texas, and the ordering of little Elian Gonzalez to be seized from relatives of Miami and returned to his father in Cuba. They lost in court, but opponents of Florida's smart solar amendment say they'll win at the ballot box.
Solar advocates wanted the Florida Supreme Court to remove Amendment 1. They called it a fraud. The justices refused, but Stephen Smith of the Southern Alliance for Clean Energy believes the tide has already turned.
We are increasingly confident that voters will vote this down.
A poll in September showed 84% support for Amendment 1. That number plummeted after disclosures about the way utilities disguised their amendment to make it look pro-solar. It takes 60% to approve an amendment. The latest poll from St. Leo University says they're down to 59.8%. Rick Flagg, Tallahassee.
And finally, a half dozen people in Apalachicola recovering from injuries from a carnival ride. The accident happened Friday night at the Sizzler ride at the Florida Seafood Festival. One person was taken to Tallahassee Memorial with serious injuries. The ride was closed while state and local authorities investigated. And those are the stories making news this hour. Looking at your traffic right now, all clear in our broadcast area.
After Halloween fell on a Monday, messing up the rest of the week for parents and school kids. By the weekend, you thought the terror was over. But then...
Why is the sun directly in my eyes on the way to work?
Time change.
Hey, teach. When's lunch? I'm starving.
Don't you students remember? Time change.
What a difference an hour makes. Time change. Now showing.
I'm not into time, man.
You're hearing the morning show, Talk of the Treasure Coast, 1590 WPSL. Going to have the time of your life, I promise.
Back in the day, Paul.
Okay, 72 years ago, back in 1944, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt won an unprecedented fourth term in office, defeating Thomas E. Dewey. After him, they set up a two-limit term for presidents. It was taking them so long to do it for congressmen. 54 years ago, Richard Nixon lost the election for governor of California to incumbent Pat Brown. Afterwards, Tricky Dicky told a press conference, "You won't have Nixon to kick around anymore." Well, that's not true.
Tricky Dicky, that's funny.
1965, the Pillsbury Doughboy debuted his commercial. That's right, first time.
Oh, that pretty good impression?
Pretty good, Gene. That's like the real thing.
Thank you.
43 years ago, in 1973, for some reason, New Jersey became the first state to let girls play Little League Baseball. Ain't no crying in baseball.
Right on, Jersey.
42 years ago, in 1974, Rolling Stone magazine reported that Ted Nugent won the National Squirrel Shooting Archery Contest by picking off an extremely scary squirrel at 150 yards. He'd wiped out 27 more squirrels with a handgun. Okay, good on you.
Pillsbury Doughboy was there,
Nugent.
too.
Yes, he was. 37 years ago, in 1979, The Rose was released, starring Bette Midler and her, and a chaotic story about self-destruction. Female rock star, obviously was modeled after Janis Joplin.
Oh, that was a pretty song. Bette Midler, she nailed that.
Sure was, sure was. And 25 years ago, genius Paul Rubens, a.k.a. Pee Wee Herman, pledged no contest to change charges of sexy indecent exposure. Well. And gee, let's see here, going back to 1978, one of my favorite groups, Gino Vanelli and his brothers sing Just Wanna Stop.
How romantical.
Oh, man. Let's dance, G. Well, maybe not.
That's going to do it for us, Paul.
You have a good one, G.
We're WPSL Port St. Lucie. Your CBS News is next, followed by Cliff and Swamp Shop. Have yourself a great day. Excuse me and Paul while we dance.